We have some pretty major news right now. Caroline Leavitt may be lying about how close, or rather not close, her relationship was with the mother of her nephew who has been detained by ICE. Remember, in the past week, we learned that Caroline Leavitt's family member, the mother of her nephew, was detained by ICE. And within minutes of that news breaking, the White House distanced Caroline Leavitt from the woman, saying that they had no connection, that they hadn't spoken in a long time, that this is just the mother of Caroline Leavitt's nephew. They weren't even married. All of these rumors spun up. But the truth is very different. And it looks like Caroline Leavitt and this woman had a closer relationship than the White House wants you to believe. And then that begs up the question of why? Why wouldn't the White House just come out and say the truth here? Why is the White House and Caroline Leavitt lying? Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support my work. Click the subscription button on my Substack linked below because this is a major news story right now. According to the Daily Beast, the mother of Caroline Leavitt's nephew has accused the White House press secretary of trying to downplay their relationship after she was detained by ICE despite her attending a soccer game along with Caroline's family just a few weeks ago. Her name is Bruna Ferreira. She was taken into immigration custody earlier this month in Massachusetts. She says that she was in regular contact with Caroline Leavitt and her relatives while she co parented her 11-year-old son. That, according to her attorney, Todd Pomerlew, who spoke to the Daily Beast. She had seen and talked to Caroline Leavitt definitely within the past year, if not the past months. That is what her attorney told the Daily Beast. The Department of Homeland Security has alleged that the Brazilian national overstayed a tourist visa. Todd Pomerlew says the Levitts were aware that Ferreira was in the process of obtaining a green card, which would have allowed her to remain permanently inside the United States of America. And just a few weeks before her arrest, Ferreira was cheering for her son at a recreational football game alongside the Levitts. A few weeks before her arrest, she's still a quote, criminal illegal alien hanging out with the Levitt family that's preaching against criminal legal aliens. Now, I want to take that statement for a second because that right there, that's a big deal. Because Caroline Leavitt is trying to distance herself from this woman, claiming that she barely has ever spoken to her, she hasn't seen her in a long time. But the truth is that they were likely much closer than Caroline Leavitt wants you to believe. And this could be for two reasons. The first is obviously Caroline Leavitt doesn't want the public to know that she knew of this woman's status as an undocumented immigrant in the United States of America who had overstayed her visa allegedly and didn't report it, right? And the press secretary, the White House press secretary, who has been advocating for all this uh, immigration enforcement, well, she had someone in her own family, someone close to her who she regularly was in contact with that would be subject to potentially immigration enforcement. That could be one angle of it. The other angle, which is a little more sinister, would be maybe, just maybe, Caroline Leavitt was the reason why Miss Ferreira was detained by immigration authorities, because that is the prevailing narrative here. It seems as though there was maybe some type of custody issue over the child, and if Caroline Leavitt wanted the mother of her nephew out of the picture, what's the way to do it? Call ICE. Let's continue. She has a criminal legal alien back when she was dating Michael Leavitt, and he had no issue with it. He said that Ferreira was stunned by claims that she wasn't present in her son's and the Leavitt's lives. She's actually quite proud of Caroline for achieving her dreams, and she's just sitting there baffled, wondering what's going on. That's according to her lawyer. Now, there is no concrete evidence that Caroline Leavitt called ICE or immigration authorities, but I mean, it's just a theory that is out there that is potentially substantiated by the evidence that we see here, but we'll see what happens. The attorney added that Ferreira literally picked Caroline to be the godmother of the child over her own sister. Earlier this week, a source close to the White House told the Daily Beast that this individual is the mother of Caroline's nephew, and they have not spoken in many years. The child has lived full time in New Hampshire with his father since birth. He has never resided with his mother. But Ferreira is refuting those claims that she has never lived with her son. And truth be told, based on sources that I've spoken to, they actually had a much closer custodial relationship than the White House is letting on. They actually, this Miss Ferreira was regularly with her son, from what I understand. She was a DACA recipient. She was regularly with her son, if not 50-50 custody, close to 50-50 custody of the child. And so, why is the White House, why is Karoline Leavitt, why are they lying to you? What are they running from? What are they trying to hide? Quote, anyone who knows Bruna knows the kind of person she is. She is hardworking, kind, and always the first to offer help when someone needs it. A statement from Ferrera's sister. Bruna's absence has been especially painful for her 11-year-old son, Michael Levitt Jr., who needs his mother and hopes every single day that she'll be at home in time for the holidays. Levitt declined to comment on the situation to her local news to her local news channel. That's There's an interesting narrative here. What's the truth? What is Karoline Leavitt trying to hide right now from the American public? See, here's the thing. There would be no issue if Karoline Leavitt just came out publicly and said, you know what? The reporting is right. This is a family member. She's a relative. But as I've said all along, I support immigration enforcement. It doesn't matter whether it's my close family member or whether it is anyone else. That's immigration enforcement. We need to follow the law. I'm under the Trump administration. I'm his press secretary, yada yada yada. If that's what Karoline Leavitt did, at least there would be consistency there. But that's not what she did. She said essentially, I barely know this woman, applying the Trump defense. And when someone close to Donald Trump, and I know this personally because he did this to my father, someone close to Donald Trump does something that is anti-Trump or breaks from the Trump administration in any way, oh, he was just a water boy. I don't know him. I've never heard of him. I don't know who he is. That's what the president of the United States likes to say, even though the truth is that whoever that person is likely played a much larger role in whatever the president of the United States has wanted done over the many years. And it looks like Karoline Leavitt is applying the Trump defense here. Barely knew her. Haven't seen her. But the truth, well, it's arguably different. Spent soccer games together. Spoke. Definitely in the past year, if not the past few months. That's a very different narrative, right? Than what Karoline Leavitt and the White House have been trying to spin now for several days. And like I said, there would be no questions if Karoline Leavitt just came out and said, yes, this is a family member. She was detained. Moving on. That's not what the White House did. And the question remains, why? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll have more updates for you soon, so stay tuned for more.